Well, if you really want to start gardening soon and it's too cold outside, one of the things you can do is think about starting your own seeds. Now, when you start your own seeds, you want to think about when you want to plant these plants in the garden, and you want to back up about 5 or 6 weeks. And that's when you put your seeds down. It varies from plant to plant, but in general, that's the way to go. So what we're going to do today is talk about some of the things that you need to get your seeds started properly and have the best luck and have the best plants to go in your garden. Now, seeds come in all different shapes and sizes. Here are some lettuce seeds that are, the lettuce seeds are very small anyway, but these are covered with clay, so they're called pelleted seeds, and they're a little larger, give you the ability to seed them a little easier. We also have things like tomatoes. This is an heirloom variety called Cherokee Purple, and these are fairly small also, but they're very nice seeds. And by starting them yourself, you've got the ability to use something like a Cherokee Purple that you might not find that particular variety in your garden center. So one of the things we're going to do first is start these seeds, put them in a container of sorts. We have a flat here, a bottom flat, and I've got a couple different examples of cell packs that you can put in there. Now, you can also use egg cartons or paper cups with holes in the bottom of them to do this. And sometimes they work pretty well, but for this, for the purpose of this, we're going to just use this plastic containers. You can see some are much smaller than others, so if you use this gray one, you're going to get about 48 plants in this tray. If you use this black one, you're going to get about 32. Well, one of the first things we need to do is get this thing filled with some type of media. We've got this flat right here that's been filled with a media that's pretty sterile. It's got a lot of peat moss in it and other things, and we're going to start putting some seeds in here. One of the things you want to do is get you, in this case we're going to use lettuce, get you some seeds, and you're going to want to put these in the cell. Right on top is the way I normally do it, so as I'm going through here, I know where I've put a seed. And then what I'll do is press these down slightly and cover them up. Now, the general rule of thumb is to put a seed down about 1.5 times its diameter into the media. And that's what we've done there. Now, this is going to germinate. Once we get some heat and moisture, these seeds will germinate. Now, one thing you can do is buy a heat mat that's going to keep the soil or the media here very warm. Sometimes in your house you might keep it around 70 degrees, and that's fine. The seeds will germinate, but it might just take a little bit longer. Seeds generally like 75 to 80 degrees to germinate. So like I said, getting them some heat and then some moisture, and you can use a nozzle like this that'll put out a fine mist over the media and over the seeds. It won't knock the seeds around too much. Or you could just use a simple bottle spritzer like this that will also put out a mist and allow you to get this nice and wet. One of the other things you can do is make yourself a little greenhouse. You can find these plastic clear covers that at a garden center or somewhere like that, and they fit right on this nice 10-20 flat, and they cover it up, and you could use that to keep the moisture in. As you spray, it's going to keep the area nice and moist and allow things to germinate. Now, once these things germinate, once these plants come up, you really need to get them in the light. So whether that means a window or a sunroom that's on the south side of your house, or somewhere like that, or if you've got a greenhouse, you could put it out there. But most people don't. So you could also, though, put some lights in your house, some grow lights, that are really going to keep these plants from getting spindly and leggy and long. Now, you can find bulbs, special grow bulbs that aren't too expensive, different ones, and you can have fixtures, much like this one here, that you can put those bulbs in. But one of the ones that I like the most is a fluorescent light setup that you see here. We've got just a typical shop light that you can find at your home improvement store that's probably under $20 for a light like this. It does have a full spectrum light bulb, fluorescent light bulb in it, but this bulb doesn't put out a whole lot of heat. Now you'll notice we have this very close to the flat, very close to the plants. These plants have already germinated. Some of these have true leaves on them. First you get the cotyledon leaves, then you get true leaves. And we're keeping this light very close to the plants, about 3 to 4 inches away. Now, as these plants grow, we can move this light up and allow it to stay still very close to the plants by using this chain here. So what you're going to do as these start to grow and they start to fill in and you get root development, very strong root development, you know it's getting close to put them out into the garden. So one of the things you want to think about before you put them out in the garden, they've been growing in a really nice environment. You want to get them out into the wind, into the sun, and you want to harden them off. You want to acclimate them to those temperatures for a few hours each day. And then when it's time to put them out in the garden, they're going to do much better for you. Next month, we're going to talk about tools and maybe some tips on how to get into the garden a little bit earlier. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.